Good morning, Ms. James. My name is John Ringgold. May I call you Sarah?
I would prefer if you did. I would feel more comfortable.
Thank you. First of all, Sarah, I'm wondering if there's anything that you need to say or do to prepare for the use of our interpreter here. This is a new experience to me, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Is there anything they need to be doing differently?
Obviously, this is the first time for using an interpreter, so you can just talk directly to me. We'll communicate directly, and the interpreter will interpret all the communication between the two of us.
Good, thank you. Appreciate that. As you know, Sarah, our interview here is for the position of office manager for our company. It's a very important position for us. And I notice in your resume here that you have experience with this type of work, and I'd like you to tell me a little bit about that experience, the company you've been with, and kinds of things that you did with the company.
Sure. I worked for a computer company, Columbus Computer, and it was a very successful company. Unfortunately, they decided to sell, and the new owners who took over laid off all the existing staff and brought in their own people. So I started there as a receptionist and moved my way up to office manager. And when I saw this position in the newspaper, I saw that it was a perfect match for me and my skills, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, that must have been a very difficult experience for you, and I imagine you were really excited to see a new opportunity. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the kind of computer systems that you were used to? What did you work with?
I used several different pieces of equipment, but we worked primarily on Macintosh computers. I've used Microsoft Word for word processing, and IBM compatible computers. And I've used many different programs. And I know also that I can, because of my experience, I can learn a lot of different things based on the skills that I already have. And I also can read up and maybe even get some training to learn what I don't know. But I don't see that as a big problem because I'm motivated to learn new things.
Well, that's good. All of our computers are Macintoshes, so it fits right in with your experience. Tell me a little bit more about the programs that you've worked with.
Sure. I've used Microsoft Word for word processing, and desktop publishing, and PageMaker, a desktop application called PageMaker, and accounting software, Excel, for example. So I have a lot of experience with those particular programs.
Excellent. Thank you. You mentioned in your resume you're using the phone, and are you able to use the phone? Is that something you're comfortable with?
Right. There's several different options for that. Using the phone won't be a problem for me. Because of the TTY or the teletype device, I can communicate directly with other people with the same device. But if they don't have that device, I can use the relay service. The relay service is an operator that I call who has the device, and then they call someone who doesn't have the device, and they speak whatever I type, and whatever the other person speaks, they type back to me. And in that case, the operator functions much like an interpreter does. The other thing that we can do is, I noticed that you have a part-time interpreter here. And when schedule permits, we can take advantage of their time. And in the case where there aren't any of those situations, we can write back and forth. I've had quite a bit of experience working with hearing people, and I don't see that it poses a big problem at all.
Thank you for your answer. It's very informative. Changing the topic here a little bit, we have a large inventory in our building here, quite a number of products on the premises. Do you have any experience in, tracking inventory, and how would you apply that experience to this kind of a situation? What are some of the things that you would do?
I have quite a bit of experience with inventory and tracking inventory. And I used a program called FileMaker or FileMaker Pro. It's a wonderful program, especially for inventory. It's very, and anyone wants to learn it, I can teach it to them. And I love working with that program. It's very easy, and I can design a system in that program for you to track your inventory.
Well, Sarah, we have some 55 different products. Do you think your skills would handle that number of products? Do you think your strategy would work there?
I do. I'm proficient in working out systems and designing systems to work things out that are efficient. I don't think it'll be a problem at all.
Good. What kind of organizational skills do you have? Tell me something about how you approach organizing things.
Well, that's a challenge that I enjoy. Organizing things, working with different departments and organizing systems to make things more efficient, to save time and money and overall cost. And using computer systems and filing systems to work together to save time and cost is very important. Because when you're organized, it's easy to find what you need when you need it. I enjoy organization so much that I organized my previous employer's schedule. I reduced their paperwork on their desk and helped them to keep their desk organized. So organization is something that I enjoy quite a bit.
Well, Sarah, you really caught my attention. That's real good. I have those days when my desk is so piled. It's clean now, but it's so piled that I can't even tell the telephone from any other piece of furniture in the office. I appreciate that kind of organizational skill. What kind of salary did you have in that position at you held for the computer company?
I earned $37,800 a year.
What do you see? Now, that's the hard question now, so you might want to give it some thought. What do you see as your strengths and weaknesses in assuming a position like office manager here with our company?
I would say that my strength is my experience. And a lot of my experience that I have had in the past will definitely benefit your organization. I'm a great employee. I'm motivated, I'm a learner, and I'm not afraid to try new things. I am deaf, but that's not a weakness. I think that's a strength. Because of my deafness, it has allowed me to not give up on things easily. I've had to overcome quite a bit in my life. And that's been a challenge, but it's been a skill. And I show other people that I can do that. Most of all, and that makes other people feel good when they see that in me. I'm also a problem solver, and I use communication to do that. And I try to encourage people to have teamwork. One thing you don't have control over is other people's attitudes. I can't fix things in them. But what I can do is have a good rapport with people and communicate with them and develop teamwork. I see that as something that I bring to this company that would be definitely a strength.
Well, Sarah, that's a very, very good answer. And you express some of the values and some of the spirit that has been with our company right from the start, and I appreciate that very much. And I also appreciate the fact that having worked with some deaf individuals in the past, I found that their deafness did not prevent them from being healthy, competent, and really valuable employees. And I'm glad to see that you got the same attitude too. Sarah, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, can you tell me a little more about the company, about your company?
Well, that's a fun story. I enjoyed talking about that. I founded a company in 1985, and our goal was to create materials that would make it fun for children to learn how to read. So in doing that, we ended up creating some talking books where children could just press a button and the book would literally read or talk to them. And they found this to be a real positive learning experience. And so as those books developed, we started adding other things that included sounds and music, and pretty soon we had a whole menagerie of books and ideas coming out. Well, eventually the company grew, and it grew quickly, and pretty soon, instead of being just in a back bedroom, we ended up filling this whole building with all kinds of products and activities. We just kept getting good ideas, and we produced it. And it's been great fun. Parents love our materials, and kids adore the books. It feels really great. I want to tell you, it feels really great to be involved in a business where you're helping kids get a good start reading.
Well, that sounds exciting. Do you have any books for deaf children?
Well, no, we don't. Do you have some ideas along that line?
Well, yeah, when you were explaining about the talking books, I had a whole bunch of ideas, a plethora of them in my mind. And specifically for deaf children. One of the ideas, for example, was a book, say, like you can hear the books that you produce, but instead of maybe speaking the word, when you push a button, a picture comes up and just pops up. Or the word is there and you have to match the word with the picture. And they kind of pop up in a 3D fashion. I think that would be wonderful for deaf children, but also children with other reading difficulties. I wish I had books like that when I was a child.
Wow, 3D graphics. Frankly, it sounds obvious, but we hadn't thought of it before. What more could we do to help children that might be having learning disabilities or deafness issues? Is there something else that we might be able to do to help them, encourage them?
Disabled or differently abled? I think it's good to focus on the differently abled, because that lets them know that they're okay, and they can learn information like that for them.
As I'm sitting here thinking about these ideas, I realize we don't know anything about how to market these things. If we developed a line of books for differently abled children, I like your expression, how would we market it? Do you have any ideas along that line?
Sure, you could market this to schools, regular public schools or schools that are specifically for the deaf, or any type of library, hometown library, city library, school libraries. And also you could market it to different schools or different stores.
Well, it would also help us to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act and help many other people do that too. It just opens up a whole new array of things for us. Whole series of books. Excellent. Now we may have to put you in charge of a project like that. What do you think of that?
Oh, that would be wonderful. When do I start?
Aren't you going to ask me what the salary is?
Yeah, that is a good thing. How much does the position pay?
Well, the salary for an office manager would be about $28,500 to maybe $32,000. Of course, if we find the candidate we really want, somebody who has, what was your expression, skills and knowledge and all sorts of enthusiasm that doesn't quit, well, there's some flexibility in negotiation in there, I want you to know. But I'm beginning to think that your talents and your creativity, they go beyond the scope of a position like office manager. I'm afraid that you're really very much overqualified for being an office manager.
Did I just talk myself out of a job?
Well, yeah, you talked yourself out of this job, but I'd be crazy not to create a special position for special project manager, somebody that has all kinds of ideas and abilities like the ones you shared with me today. You could have a special division of a company that focuses on materials. Well, basically for a population that I must confess we've ignored all along.
Well, I wasn't aware that you had a special division.
Well, it was created about 5 minutes ago. We do now.
So, when do I start?
Well, that's a good question. I don't want you to forget any of those real brainstorms that you've had in the last few minutes. When could you begin? When would you want to begin?
I could start as early as this afternoon if you'd like.
Well, that sounds very good. Kind of fits into what I'm thinking. I'd like to give you a tour of the building. We've got a pretty good-sized facility here, and then introduce you to the rest of the team. We've got quite a few staff members. Would you be available for a lunch to sit down with some of our folks so they could get acquainted with you?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Great.